everyone, and welcome to the last of our 2024-2025 concert talks, pre-concert talks for the North Pittsburgh Symphonic Band, where we give you a little bit of information about the music that we will be performing that will hopefully pique your interest in you coming to join us in our music making. The concert is on May the 4th at 3 p.m. in the North Hills Middle School Auditorium. And again, it's going to feature a wide and diverse selection of musics, some of which you may know and some that you will not, but I hope that after hearing them you will enjoy them as well. I'm also very fortunate that after talking about the works I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce Mr. Sean Deskin. Sean is our associate conductor with the North Pittsburgh Symphonic Band, and allow him to talk about the music that he will be working with as well. And I think it's really nice for you to have an opportunity to meet Sean. He does a great job with the band, and he's been with them a lot longer than I have. So excited about that. We're going to open up the concert with a Brubaker arrangement of Strike Up the Band. What a great way to start this final concert in May with a spirited arrangement of a piece that we all know. And hopefully they'll get the toes tapping as we move forward into our more serious concert repertoire. Next on the docket is a piece by Canadian composer Andrzej Jutras. And Andrzej Jutras didn't put out a lot of works in his band writing career, but the ones with which I am familiar, I really like a lot. If you recall, if you came to the concert, our seasonal concert 2 years ago, we did his C'est Noël, which was a collection of Christmas music that was on our seasonal concert, and I thought it was very well written. This piece is entitled A Berry North Celebration, and it was commissioned by the band parents of the Berry North University music program in celebration of their 20th anniversary. And it's a typical overture form in ABA, fast, slow, fast. And what I like about the up-tempo sections, they're rhythmically very challenging. However, they're musically, melodically wonderful to listen to, very uplifting, upbeat, put a smile on your face. They remind me of American composer James Barnes, very similar to the many ABA forms that he wrote. Jutras was first and foremost a very fine oboist and English hornist, performing in the orchestras in Quebec and all throughout Canada prior to starting to compose. And I think he did a wonderful job with this one. And it's not one that a lot of bands people know, so it's kind of a new piece, but I think you'll really enjoy it. The B section, the slow section, is also very interesting. The harmonies, the harmonics, features a beautiful piccolo solo answered by a trumpet solo that I think are represented very well by our musicians in the North Pittsburgh Symphonic Band. And you put the whole package together, I think it's a wonderful way to engage everybody and get our concert off on the right foot. Moving along, we have a Pennsylvania connection. And the Pennsylvania connection is Anne McGinty. Anne McGinty, very popular composer, writer. 80s and 90s, most of her output. And this was one that she did around 1996 and or 1997, and it is called "'Tis a Gift," and it's based on a shaker melody. "'Tis a gift to be simple," so forth. A very uplifting, almost spiritual folk song. And I think what I like about this one is she doesn't give us that full melody until the very end. She gives us little bits and pieces that pass around through the ensemble that I really think is nice. And then finally, at the end, she allows us to enjoy that beautiful piece, the shaker melody. The additional part of this, not only was Anne McGinty a Duquesne graduate, a tie-in to Pennsylvania, but the piece was written for it as a result of a tragic event that happened in 1996, and that was the crash of TWA Flight 800, upon which there were 3 musicians from the Montoursville area high school. And so this piece was meant to uplift many hearts that were broken on that day. And an additional tie-in with this is that the director of bands at Montoursville is actually my wife Tina's cousin, Dennis Carpenter. And I've known Dennis for a long time, and he did a great job while he was there at Montoursville. And so trying to find something to spiritually uplift some people that had been tragically affected by this event. "'Tis a Gift" by Anne McGinty. I'm going to bring something to you that's only been performed a few times. And it's entitled "Knee High by the Fourth" by Wendell Upons. Wendell, you may not know so much in the band or orchestral writing realm, but you'd know him from TV work, like writing TV commercials, writing music for TV shows. In Living Color had a lot of his music written on it. But he also did some symphonic work, and I discovered him through Maestro Tom Leslie, the director of wind bands at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, whose wind ensembles are world-renowned. I happened to be listening to one of Tom's CDs, and I heard this just hauntingly beautiful piece. "Knee High by the Fourth." I contacted Tom. He put me in contact with Wendell, and I've been an advocate for his music ever since. "Knee High by the Fourth" was written as a tribute to Tom Leslie's horn professor while he was at the University of Iowa. So it's got that Midwestern flair to it. And what it gives us this beautiful sunrise in a countryside cornfield. And so you can hear the rustling of the corn shocks as they rub together. You can kind of visualize the sun as it rises over those up into the sky. Just some beautiful representations of this moment. So it allows us to take our minds and think of this while we listen to the music and see how the music conveys this idea. Very programmatic work. And it includes some things like tuned wine glasses. So of course, you know, the rubbing around the rim there to create that hauntingly beautiful sound. And additionally, the musicians are asked to blow air through their instruments, non-sounding air. So we get the sound of wind as it would be blowing through these cornfields. And then finally, saxophones help us the most, but he initiated key clicks. Again, we're not playing, but we're using this clicking sound of the keys. Again, sounds that we might hear throughout this cornfield as the stalks sway in the wind and so forth. And it has a beautiful horn solo, again, a tribute to the horn professor. And is also joined by some beautiful insertions by a flute trio in the middle. And I just think it's a gorgeous work to listen to. If you have a little bit of an idea of the story and can kind of put yourself in that place, I think it really makes it kind of a cool experience. So "Knee High by the Fourth" by Wendell Upons. We're going to do a march. Not the typical Sousa March or Fillmore March, but one written by one of the greatest soundtrack writers ever, John Williams. And it was for a movie called 1941. I'm not sure if you all knew this. It was a 1979 comedy movie that Steven Spielberg wrote. And it included Dan Aykroyd, Ned Beatty, John Belushi, and John Candy, and more. And it's just a hilarious movie. Never got a lot of popularity, but this march certainly did. It starts atypically with a little piccolo duo, as if the band playing the march is way off in the distance, and then we get a little cadence out of our snare drum, and then this builds and builds and builds to just a wonderful march. If you're not familiar with this one, if you think of the march from Raiders of the Lost Ark, it would be of that ilk. But I think it's a very challenging march, but very tuneful, as John Williams' musical writing is. We are also going to do something with video. We're going to do the highlights from Robin Hood. And people say, well, which one? This would be the one from 1991, starring Kevin Costner, Morgan Freeman, and more. And the music at the time was just groundbreaking. It was a great score, included ballads by Bryan Adams that won Grammy Awards and so forth. But we decided that being that it's a soundtrack for a movie, we would compile some short snippets of the film action and perform the music to it. This particular arrangement is by Paul Lavender, and I think Paul did a wonderful job weaving together all of the wonderful musical material that was involved in the making of the movie, and a very great challenge. One of the many blessings that I have at North Pittsburgh is we have an amazing horn section right now, and they certainly get their they have their work cut out for them in this piece, as it features so many significant horn featured pieces and parts, and I think the guys are just doing a wonderful job with that as well. A reminder that our concert is on May the 4th at 3 p.m. in the North Hills Middle School Auditorium. And having introduced the music that I'm responsible for, I want to now send you over to my colleague down in Pittsburgh, Mr. Sean Deskin, to talk to you a little bit about the music that he will be performing. We look forward to seeing you. We're so excited that our audience continues to grow. If these concert talks, if you find them beneficial or helpful, or you enjoy them and want to click a like, that would be great. Let us know what you think. We're always interested in our audience and growing our audience. If you are up in the Hermitage area, on June the 22nd, we'll be performing at beautiful Buell Park, an outdoor concert in the summer. I believe it starts at 6 o'clock. That's a Sunday, and we hope to see you there as well. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce you to my colleague, Mr. Sean Deskin.
Hi, everyone. As Tad said, my name's Sean Deskin. I'm the associate conductor of the North Pittsburgh Symphonic Band, and I also play tuba in the group when I'm not conducting. I'll be leading the group in 2 pieces at our May performance in a couple weeks, and the first one is part of a larger work called the Little Mexican Suite. It's the 3rd movement, Sahuaro, and I'll tell you a little bit about the composer first. Her name's Nubia Jaime Don Juan, and she was born in 1984 in the state of Sonora in Mexico, just south of the Arizona border. Was inspired to write this movement by a forest of cacti that she would travel through on the way to a lake or body of water near her city growing up. And it's these big, tall, thin cacti filled with lots of water. And to depict the sahuaro, she chose the danzón form, which is a form of dance that originated in Cuba, but has become very prominent in Mexico as well. It's a partner dance, so you'll hear a lot of interplay between soloists in our band and different sections in our band. We're excited to be performing this piece. It was written as part of Dartmouth College's Mexican music initiative, and as I said, it's part of a larger 4-movement work. The second piece I'll be working with is called Overture in B-flat. It's by Cesar Giovannini. He was born in Chicago in the mid-1920s, performed in the Navy Band as a pianist, and then went on to perform in various radio and television broadcasts in the Chicago area. Moved to LA in 1959 and was very prominent as a studio musician on piano and various keyboards in a number of movies. You may have heard of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Soylent Green, and in a very cool coincidence, he actually performed on the soundtrack to 1941. Tad mentioned earlier that we'll be playing John Williams' fantastic march from that film at this concert as well, so it's kind of neat to see that connection. It's a very basic overture style piece, ABA, fast, slow, fast. It's similar in style to our Barry North celebration that we'll be performing on this concert as well, but it'll be interesting for you to hear the contrast between a piece written in 1966 and a piece written in the early 2000s in the same form. Like I said, 1966, compositionally, there were a lot of great pieces for band coming out in that same year. We had variations on a Korean folk song, Incidental Suite, Rocky Point Holiday. All of these are landmarks of the repertoire, and I feel like maybe Overture in B-flat has gotten obscured a little bit by being in such tough competition. So we're hoping to bring it back into prominence, and we really hope you enjoy our performance of it. And I will just close by reminding you of our concert details. Sunday, May 4th, 3 p.m., North Hills Middle School. May the 4th be with you. There may be a little bit of a Star Wars surprise in there, so stick around till the very end, and we look forward to seeing you on May the 4th.